Happy Friday. Sarah here. I'm so glad to be here. And I'm so glad that you are too. So today I wanted to talk about money, right? I know it's the holidays and money is a hot topic for people all the time, right? Let's be real. And it's even more a hot topic around the holidays. People naturally are spending more money, so they want more money, and there's usually a lot more money stress. And our beliefs, right, which is what I've been talking about all week, is the beliefs that we have are the thoughts that we then spend time with, right? And so money and wanting more money, not having enough money, all of that, right, is all based on our social conditioning, the way that we've been taught, the way that we've come to believe, and the way that we now function. And the way that we now function is within this parameter of this is the way things are, right? So you might have an inkling that, I believe you do, have an inkling that this isn't the way things really are or should be, and you know that there's a better way for them to be. You just can't figure out what that way is, right? So bringing clarity to the way is my main mission for you, to be able to create exactly what it is you want in your life. So today I'm just going to talk about it in terms of money, because I know that's something that pretty much everybody wants, and more than likely, if you're listening to me, it's something that you have that you desire, and or that you have questions about, and or that you're still trying to figure out. So money, right? How do I get more of it? How do I feel more secure with it? How do I create it? All of these different questions, especially around the holidays. So when it really comes down to it, again, one of the things I've been touching on this week is being able to shift our beliefs around money, right? Because it is not at all about the money, just like it's not about whatever the other things are that you want in your life that you don't have already, whether it's the kind of love in your relationships that you want, whether it's being the kind of parent that you desire to be, whether it's having the time that you want, right? Or the energy that you want. It's never actually about those things, right? And when we say things like, oh, I don't have any time, I wish I had more time, right? That is actually just revealing your beliefs about time and how much ownership you believe you have over your time, which is another thing that I help people on, right? One of my clients, Kevra, who posts a lot on my lives and on my posts, which I love, by the way, she has been working for the last year or so with me, and one of the main themes that we've been working on is becoming the owner of her 24 hours, which is such an amazing and liberating thing to work on, to come to the awareness and the realization, oh yeah, I own my 24 hours. Nobody else does, and it's no one else's responsibility to decide like what I should or shouldn't be doing with my time. It's actually 100% my responsibility to figure out how I use my 24 hours. So claiming that and understanding the process is a journey, right? If it were easy, we would all be doing it, and we're not. So it's a process, allowing yourself to figure out and go through that process so you can also be liberated with your time as well as your money. Okay, so let's get into it here. Money, right? It ultimately comes back to this lack of trust in ourselves, right? Because again, it's not about the money, right? Money is just out there. It's just another tangible item that we move around, right? That comes to us and then we put out there at the various stores and places that we go and buy things, right? So it's actually about our beliefs, about our ability to create, produce, receive, however you think about money coming to you. It's about our ability to manifest the money, ultimately at the end of the day. So when we don't see how we can create more money, it reveals that lack of trust in ourselves, right? And it also reveals a lack of trust in God as we experience the divine, right? So however it is that you refer to the divine, it also reveals that lack of trust in the divine. Let that really sink in. That is such a thought to really sink into and be like, wow, that is so true, right? Because if we really believe that God is desiring, right? That God desires to give us what we desire. He wants to give us the desires of our heart. If we believe that that is true, and then we have a desire for something, right, that costs money, and we don't feel like we have the money, right, then there's a disconnect. Like, wait a minute, I thought that God wanted me to have the things that I desire, right? And the things that I feel I'm meant to have, and yet I don't have the money to buy them. Okay? So it just reveals this lack of trust that you have both in yourselves and in God. Okay. So again, this belief around I don't have enough money, I don't know where the money's going to come from, I don't know how I'm going to find it, I'm not going to be able to cover, my expenses, or I'm not going to be able to pay for this extra thing that I really want, whatever the belief is. And I just want you to know, I totally get it, right? I'm right there with you. I've been right there with you. And at whatever level you end up being, right? Like whether you're making this amount of money or you're making this amount of money, you can still experience these very same thoughts of, I don't have enough, right? Because ultimately, I don't have enough is a way of viewing the world. I call it the shame lens, right? So are you looking at life through the eyes of shame, or are you looking at life through the eyes of honor, right? When you think about honor, the way I think about honor is these characteristics like trust and faith and belief and powerful and empowered all go under that lens of honor. And then over here under shame, we've got confusion and doubt and uncertainty and I don't know how, right? I'm, of course, embellishing and being a bit dramatic, but this is actually how it shows up, right? I don't know about you, but that's how it shows up in my life. When I go into this place of shame, it shows up in this ugh. And when I'm bold and in my full liberated self, I show up in this energy of honor. I'd love to hear how it shows up for you. Please feel free to drop it into the comments if this relates, if you resonate with it. So I wanted to highlight even my client Kevra because she's been posting so faithfully, which I adore, and sharing her story. It's so inspiring to hear other people's stories, right? It's the only reason I'm here on Facebook is because I know it inspires other people to also get more liberated. And what a beautiful world to live in. The more people we can have living liberated, the better. So that's why I'm here. So Kevra, the same a year ago, knew life was not going as she wanted it to go. She knew she wanted more freedom, more time, more energy, more enjoyment from life, and yet she could not figure out how to make that happen, right? And so she just kept doing things the way they've always been, hoping that things would change, right? And so, of course, she came across me here on Facebook and saw my story and connected with me, and we started working together. And she went from being a teacher in the school system, doing things the way that the school system instructed her to do, and teaching students in that way, and feeling all of those burdensome thoughts that I just shared with you, of not being able to be the teacher that she really wanted to be, and more importantly, not being able to live the life the way she wanted to feel and be in her own life, right? And so then in our doing that inner work and really getting into those beliefs of, I can't do the work I really want to be doing because I won't be able to make the money I want to make, right? I can't do what I love and make money. I hear that one often. Or this other belief of like, I can't leave where I am right now because I would be letting other people down, right? I hear that one often too. And that was a huge part of my struggle and my journey of going through and leaving a job where I was at was, I can't leave because I'll be letting other people down. And the same, like, I can't leave here because I have this like great dependable salary that I don't believe I'll be able to recreate somewhere else, right? Okay, so I'm just drawing this out because I want you to see, like, these are all things that we believe, right? That we've believed over time through repeated evidence of showing us like these things are true. And then other people around us are also showing us, yes, that's true. Like, you have to stay at that job, or you shouldn't let people down, or you have that dependable salary. Don't change anything, right? Just stay with it, even though you don't feel good about the way you're living, right? So just drawing that out. And here she is now, a year later, and just under a month, just over a month into her now new business, where she is working with students in exactly the way she desires to be doing it, where she has created a schedule where she has enough time to work with students and live the rest of her life. Do the things that are most important to her, spending time with her family, exercising, having time to sit and quietly reflect, having time to walk on the beach, all of the things that were really important to her that she could not figure out how to get in her life over here. So now she's here a year later, just over a year later, and she's now creating the same money and on track to create more money than she was making over here. It is possible. 100% it's possible. And I've helped several people go from here to over here, including myself. Okay? So we have all of these beliefs around money that keep us from believing, from thinking, from taking action in ways that our heart is yearning, sorry about that pronunciation, yearning to do. And then we don't do them. And slowly over time, that repeated behavior of not doing the thing that we know our heart says we're called to do, we start to feel heavy and burdensome and overwhelmed and exhausted. This is just the natural progression of how this works. And I think it's imperative for you to understand that so that you can see, okay, cool. If that's actually how that works over here, then of course there has to be a path out of that and another way to live, which there is. Okay, so quickly here, I want to run through these steps. Be clear on what you want. First step, listen to the desires of your heart. Stop ignoring them. Tune into what they are. Get clear with what they are. And then you get really committed to those goals happening. Right? And so it sounds more like, I am doing the thing I want to be doing. And then there's this trust in yourself that it will and is happening, right? And so trust in yourself is also to say trust in your divine, in God, in spirit, that which is in you, wanting to be expressed through you, okay? This is where it comes up, like, how do I do that, right? This is where the inner work gets done, right? Is increasing your level of trust within yourself and in the spiritual self, right? God within you, spirit within you, to be able to create whatever it is you want. In this case, money, right? Exactly how much money you desire to be able to live the life you are meant to be living, the life that's wanting to be lived through you. Okay, and then lastly, it requires belief and faith that it will happen, right? And so that's, again, more inner work needed because we've got all of this other crap piled on top of us that says, even though we know intellectually we're meant to have faith that God can and will and wants us to have the desires of our heart, our humanness is like, yeah, but I can't see it. I don't know how it's going to happen, right? And so then we get small and we don't take action and we don't lean in and we don't have faith. So that last step is having faith that it will happen. Okay, you guys, wrapping it up here, my takeaway for you is money is here for you now. Commit to trusting yourself to be able to create it and get the help you need in order to learn to trust yourself at this level. Okay, as always, go do that thing you most want to be doing, and I will talk to you soon.